Welcome back, folks. Happy Saturday. Well, we're back on the Hemi satellite today, and we're that close to really having it ready to go back to Texas. But I just had to share with everybody what I found. Never had this happen to me before. So we got the brakes pretty much figured out, I believe. Got new wheel cylinders, hoses, the legs. We've got, let's see, what else? The drums have been turned. Of course, new bearings, inner and outer wheel bearings. So I took it for a ride last week, and it used to, as I said before when we first got it, it would literally, the left front wheel would lock up and it would dive to the left towards the driver's side. And I mean, it'd lock up fast. So got that solved. Got a new master cylinder on there now. All that was great, except for it still now just kind of pulls a little bit, or excuse me, would pull a little bit and still have a little bit of a catch to the driver's side front wheel. We bled it, and then I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna bleed this side one more just in case there could be some air in here, and then I'll start making adjustments. Maybe I had the left side a little too tight with the adjuster. So I had Trish up in the car and here on the lift, and we're bleeding the brakes, getting ready to go bleed the brakes on this one. And I said, hold on, stop. Come check this out. So this is our sway bar. And I just happened to notice this because I was looking at it from the front. You see what I see? Yeah. Yeah. Come over here and look at the other side, how it's supposed to be. Uh-huh. So you think that maybe having the sway bar just hooked up on one side would cause it to pull? I do. So I'm not familiar with these sway bars. This being an early B body, I've never really seen a sway bar like this. Basically, they're using the strut rods, which I guess is fine. You know, later model like what I have on the Charger, it's got tabs on the lower control arm. But I guess it's kind of doing something similar with the strut rod being on the lower control arm. But you can see there's a witness mark here, right here where it was at. So you guys tell me, how did that pop out? How would that have come out? I mean, this thing is fairly rigid, but it looks to me like it was never where it needed to be, up here. So we're going to get that in there, and I've already put PV Blaster on here, but would this thing maybe the wheel travel up or down too far, extended one way or the other? Is that what caused it to pop out? I've never seen that before, but this is a lesson learned for me. Now on, you know, one of the first things I'm going to check is a sway bar, and I've done plenty of sway bars, but there's a lot of things. Talking to my old friend Nick back in Texas, I called him and I sent him a video on this, and he said somebody, whenever they set this up, he said, I did a quick video for him and Johnny. He said they probably didn't put this where they needed to, obviously. He said, but it shouldn't just pop out like that. He's never seen something pop out like that before. So anyway, we're gonna get this thing hooked up, and we've got to make an adjustment on the steering wheel, but we're going to go ahead and get it hooked up, and then we're going to drive it, and we'll do some in-car camera driving with this thing, and we're going to hopefully have it ready to send back to Texas here pretty quick. But let's get this thing on. I'm going to put grease on this thing, obviously. So let me get some grease put on this real quick. Tighten on it. In my opinion, you can't have too much grease in there. Back up now. Gonna be interesting seeing how this thing. Now we got a sway bar hooked up on both sides. So one of the things that Johnny was complaining about is that he's pretty sure the steering wheel is upside down, because when you go to put this on, it wouldn't go on this way, but it'd go on this way. So if I turn, I'm trying to figure this out. If I turn this upside down, it's going to move this part of the horn ring, which is here. I'm gonna move this to here. And let's see these. If you look at this, it really shouldn't make any difference. You wouldn't think. Huh. Interesting. I mean, it shouldn't make any difference at all. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I think I see what he's saying. It seems loose. Yeah. I'd say he's probably right, because this is obviously upside down. So interesting. It's how these legs are positioned on the ring. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to see. I remember there's a master key on the column on a lot of these, and I'm gonna bet it's probably, I'm hoping not, but I may have to pull the column and turn the master key around. I can't remember. I know that there's a certain way, so we're gonna try to pull the wheel, and if I can just turn it the other way. If there's not a master key, then this is going to be easy. So let's see if I can get this off. I've got a puller, but sometimes these will come off even without the puller. So let's see what happens. All right, this is what I thought. So if you look at the bottom there, I don't know if you can tell, but you see the big wide key? That's the master. That master, when they put this column in, they put the master facing at 6 o'clock. It's supposed to go at 12 o'clock. So that's what I was afraid of. I'm probably going to have to pull the column back and turn this 180 and try to line it back up. This is being a Hemi car. Let's see what it looks like under the hood. So, oh joy. I'll have to take, hopefully this Allen fitting will come loose. This is a little different than your later model couplings and fasteners that I'm used to anyway. So it looks like you loosen this here. I'm going to loosen it, and I'm going to see if I can push back, but I'm going to have to unbolt the column down there, and yeah, so let's see if I can get that loose. All right, so I got the little roll pin out carefully. So Trish just got she went and got it up from under the car, but what I did is I used one of my long tapered punches, drifts, and it's to the side there. There is a groove in between the splines, and then what that roll pin does, it just locks it in between the splines. So I'm about to take my pry bar and see if I can push back. If I need to go ahead and undo the column in there, I will, but I've already made alignment. I know this is the bottom. I don't think this has a master key, but I'm about to find out. But I'm hoping this does not have a master key, so it's just all the same. But it's just the steering wheel on that end, because the wheels are straight and they're where they need to go. So let's see if this thing will come back. Okay, it's coming back. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. All right. Now, I'm probably going to have to undo the column, because that little groove is probably going to be right in here. I'm getting close to it, but I probably need to unbolt the column and push back. I just would like to keep it suspended. And if I could just get it back far enough, which I probably can't, but it'd been nice if I could. I know the coupler slides back so far. But let's just keep going and see how far I can get it. Okay. Now, I've got... Okay. Let's see if it'll allow me. It'd be nice if I just kind of slide this thing back, maybe. Okay, let's see where we're at Okay, now it's pretty close to. Now our master, I've already got it lined up, so I just turn the column, turn the column, the wheel itself, not the whole column, but the shaft. Turn the shaft by the steering wheel 180, and I think we're gonna be good. Yeah. Okay, Johnny. Your steering wheel's on right side now. Now you got your horn ring on, buddy. I hope this makes you happy. I know this was really bugging the hell out of you, but there it is, my man. And she works. So now let's road test this thing. All right, time for a test drive. I'm excited. But let's go ahead and do a recap of everything we've done on the satellite since it's got here. So first thing it did when we got here, one of the biggest things was Johnny said it was really performing, had low performance. It would start up fine, do all that, but especially once it got warmed up, going up a hill or anything, it backfire, it pop. It just lost all performance. Eventually had an explosion inside the exhaust system, blew that apart. But one of the first things it did, because it was fresh on my mind on the Charger, what happened to us last year, was the coil. So we replaced that coil. It has a Pertronix coil in there now that's compatible with his HEI. So now the coil has been replaced. It looks like a factory black coil. There's no Pertronix stickers on it that you can see or faces anything. So coil. Water pump. Johnny had said this thing is making all kinds of rackets, making a weird noise. You know, unfortunately, we always think the worst. And he thought it was the something inside the engine. Well, you saw that earlier on another video. We kind of started looking into isolating with my stethoscope. I pulled the water pump belt off and the noise went away. I made the assumption that it was the water pump that was bad. Come to find out, we had a broken pulley. But while I was there, I went ahead and put a high volume Mopar Performance water pump in it. You saw that in the previous video. The paddles on the new water pump have more surface area, so it's going to move more water, basically, is all it's going to do. This is not an AC car, but it's going to help with cooling. So we got a new water pump. Exhaust. Now, that was something. We'll put a picture of the old exhaust in here, but here's our new Accurate exhaust right here from Accurate Limited, I believe. Trish and I put this on, and it took us probably about 4 to 6 hours to get it on, get it aligned, get it where it needed to be. But I've already driven it, and it makes no noise. There's no rattles, and it pretty much fit just like the factory Hemi exhaust did, and that's why they call it Accurate. So I have to say, y'all, if you're doing a full resto, completely stock, as I would want this car to be, and Johnny wants it to be, you put the right exhaust back on it. So new exhaust from Accurate. Spark plugs. Learned some things on spark plugs on the Hemi, but basically, make a long story short, I replaced the old spark plugs with just new Champion. They are the RC12YC. I know a lot of my friends like Mopar Joe do not like these. He's not racing them, not racing the car. He's just driving it. So for what we're doing, I think they're going to be fine. I can already tell you I drove it and it made a huge difference. And thank you, Rick Seaman, for pointing me out on the spark plug tubes. Turned out it did just like you said. All that oil that was in those spark plug tubes, when I changed out the plugs, it went down in the combustion chamber, but it burned them off and doesn't smoke. So runs fantastic. Radiator, man, you saw how bad that radiator was. That radiator was clogged up. The radiator shop said it was leaking, and it had multiple areas where it just wasn't flowing. So they did a great job. Johnny's very happy with the paint they put on it, made it look factory. It's got a brand new core, and it's doing great. Alternator. All we did is disconnect the belt. And I don't know if this thing was charging when it got here or not. I have no idea. Maybe it was, sure. But we had to replace the alternator. I put a stock style alternator back on it. I think it's a 60 amp. This car doesn't have air conditioning. It has a radio and heater and a Hemi. So it doesn't need a whole lot of alternator. Drums. Took the drums not to an auto repair, an auto parts shop. I took them to my machine shop, same place that does all our machine work on all of our engines. They not only turned the drums, but they installed new inner and outer races, and we have new wheel bearings. So I packed those new wheel bearings, inner and outer, turned drums, new master cylinder. I had to make some changes. These it's a stock style single pot master cylinder. This is the old one. It became rock hard, and it wouldn't. The taillights were staying on because I guess it wasn't returning. It was kind of holding the booster. So I don't know. I know that we replaced this, and it made a massive difference on the brakes. They work great now. We're going to get to that in a second on how it pulls left or right, and we're about to find out the improvement we made. But yeah, new master cylinder. I got that from Parts Geek because Summit kept pushing it out, and I finally found another one. So yeah, we got a new master cylinder. We've got new brake hoses. One of the brake hoses, this is off the passenger side. There's no way I'm going to let Johnny drive this car with rotted brake hoses, especially with a single pot master cylinder. It's imperative that he stay safe and he have brakes, especially if he's got any family members in the car. The legs, whatever you guys want to call them, pins, legs. The legs on both sides of these things, they were probably the original, but they were pitted, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were probably causing some leaks, because I did see some leaks in the old wheel cylinders. Right here, I kind of cleaned them off already, but I changed those legs. Whether it was doing anything or not, I don't know, but it took me a minute to find those, but I got them from O'Reilly. And then, sway bar. You just saw earlier in this video where we were bleeding the brakes, and I just happened to catch the sway bar not being attached on the passenger side. So that had probably, I'm about to find out, we're about to take his cruise, but we're going to find out if it still pulls or not. And if it probably drives better. I'm going to bet probably $100 bill that it does. And then last, Johnny, you got a steering wheel with your horn ring on now. It's aligned the right way. It was 180 out, but you saw where we basically pulled the column back, and it really wasn't too bad. Just turned it 180 degrees, kept the master, put the master on the center, the shaft in the column. That master goes at 12 o'clock. They had it at 6 o'clock, and therefore the steering wheel was upside down, and it wouldn't allow you to clock the horn ring properly. So that's on, and it's more aesthetically pleasing now inside the car. So I'm about to put some gas in this big Hemi, and y'all are going to go for a ride with it. So let's get this thing down off the rack and let's get her fired up. Okay, let's see what we got here. It is cold, 20-something degrees up here, so well, we got a little heat in it. Woo. Alright, let's test these brakes. Still pulls to the left a little bit, so I need to adjust the brakes. Definitely not swaying like it was. still pulling to the left. Okay, that wasn't as bad. I'm wondering if they're adjusting. Good Lord, the heat sure does work in this thing. Whew. Man, this thing has no problems. Wow. It's just a different animal, man. Okay, now it's straightening out. Oh yeah. Boy, jeez. Brakes are freaking sensitive on this thing, man. You gotta, it's just one of those cars, you, like every other old car, you gotta get used to driving, I think. This thing has big drums on it, I can tell you that. So I'm used to it. My Charger has manual disc brakes, but they're manual. This is power drum, but I need to get used to not using as much effort. Now the pulling's going away. Now the pulling's going away. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh hell. All you need to do is just. Oh yeah. Man, I'm hitting them too hard. I'm not used to this power brake stuff. Damn. Oh man. Dual quads. This thing will boogie. Woo. Man, this bad boy. This thing does move. And like those plugs, no smoke, nothing. Oh yeah, now she's stopping straight. Now she's stopping straight. You want to go for a ride?
You want me to?
Yeah. All right, these brakes are really working themselves out now. All right, look at that. Now one more pull in. Oh, look at that. I'm not holding the steering wheel. It went straight. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Man, this car is a blast to drive. Woo! here, and it doesn't even, you don't need to downshift this thing. This is a different animal. Woo, his heater works too. Good grief. Man. Yeah, this bad boy. Oh man, Johnny, thanks for letting me drive this thing, buddy. Look at that. Pulled to the left just a little bit, but I think it's getting much better. All right, let's see what this bad boy does from a first gear dig. Let's just see here. Hemi will move. I think I put everything at 12 o'clock, but I think it may need an alignment, and I don't want to go keep messing with the steering wheel if it's off a little bit, because everything was at 12 o'clock. But I put it at 12 o'clock now that it probably, when they aligned it, it was off. So I think it just needs to go to the alignment shop. Whoop. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Probably need some octane. So the fuel I put in it was 91. That's the highest we have up here. It probably needs some 93, but I think this car is ready to go. I did notice that the wheel was off this way, but again, I had the master at 12 o'clock, and you know, maybe instead of me moving this thing around, I think it may behoove this now, and also with the sway bar. Plus, Johnny wants to adjust the torsion bar, the ride height, and that's easy for him to do at the house because he really needs to pick out what he wants. So what I'm going to recommend is for him to go ahead and set those torsion bar adjustments, and he can do that in his garage. It's really easy on a Mopar. And then, because once you do that, then of course you need to go back and get the front end aligned. So I'm going to leave this alone now that this is where it needs to be. I think we're good. So I think this bad boy's ready to go back to Texas. Man, it's sure fun to drive. This thing's fun to drive, and I don't think now, as he had talked about it, getting a lot of these bugs out of it, I don't think he's going to want to sell it. If anybody's interested, let me know, and I'll put y'all in touch with him if you want to make him an offer. But you know, he's not in the position where he needs to sell stuff. So I do know he's going to want to drive this for a bit. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining the ride on the Hemi Satellite. I'm going to make calls, get ready for it to get back to Texas. I think we got another one coming up here. It's going to be coming. So if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Please hit the like button, and y'all have a great Saturday. Thanks everybody. Quick video just for you. I hadn't put it on my channel. Check things out and whatnot. And it is 10 times better than it was. Check this out. Now let's look at the other side, the driver's side. I don't know how. Maybe this is a bump or something, maybe. But that'll, whenever I was bleeding the brakes or anything. So it was just easier for me to just send this video to you.